I'm Samuel Axel, and this is the Samacast, your North Star for navigating a world in radical transformation. My mission is to make sense of our times by weaving together the split parts into one whole, bridging exponential technology with spirituality and purpose with creative expression. This is a space for deep thought and human connection, allowing us to thrive and evolve together as the creators of our lives. I will share my voice alongside that of artists and teachers who envision the new story of mankind through the lens of wisdom, science, and human potential. In this episode, I sit down with my freediving instructor and friend, Karsten, on the island of El Hierro. We speak about moving to the Canary Islands, about freediving as a profound meditation, and how to live a good life. El Hierro is a little tiny island of the Canary Islands with high volcanic mountains, deep waters for freediving, and it's a place that's been very close to my heart throughout my life. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Hello, everyone that are listening in to this conversation with me and my diving guru, Karsten. Here on the southernmost point of the European, it's not the mainland, but of the European Union, El Hierro. It's the southernmost Canary Islands, and we're right now in Tacoron. We just finished a diving session.
Yep,
an amazing diving session in super clear waters. I met Karsten 6 years ago, but through diving, I just knew intuitively that I wanted to come in touch with the water and try this activity out. And so I came to this magical island, to which I've been coming back several times afterwards. And Karsten has been a big reason why, because he's carrying the role as a freediving instructor and as a guide of the water very, very well. So
thank you.
yeah, very glad and honored to have met you in my life. So would you like to share something about what is freediving? Maybe first some of your background of like, why did you come to this island in the Atlantic of all places? Like what was the kind of the calling that brought you here?
It's actually a 50-year story, not a 45-minute story, but I try to make it short. I was in sporting goods industry for many, many years, mainly in winter sports. And I was happy that I always could make my hobbies my job. And so the last thing I was in a company which was a worldwide snowboard brand. And I loved snowboarding and I loved to have a worldwide brand, and it was all good until it came to the point that I got a little bit bored out, and then there was the option to come to El Hierro. And after skateboarding, surfing, snowboarding, after all, I have these great passion for freediving. My wife did invest in a little piece of land here, and so the little piece of land on an island where you can free dive was just a match for me to to stay here.
So you came to a point where you decided that we want to live here, and you built this finca, this space for yourself.
Yeah, we always had the dream to do something ecological, permaculture, and it's kind of very intensive, like cost intensive to do this in Germany, and especially in southern Germany where we're from. And so this piece of land, because it was an old agricultural space, gave us the option to renovate, to recultivate it. And yeah, we took the chance, and it was also a little bit, it was not like running away from society. It was more like diving deeper into society, because we all know these talks that we should do this, if this would be, I could do, like all the coulds and woulds and shoulds in the life. how you could do life better. And one basic thing is, yeah, just to live better and maybe grow your own food and do these things. And so we had the chance to do it here under the sun, connected to freediving and to live a little bit closer to nature and live closer to what we do and what we eat and yeah, and what we think the planet should be like. Maybe, you know, another expression could be for what we're doing. It's kind of a status symbol. And where I come from, like management and the neighborhood I lived in, it is like, you know, your next convertible car, next horse, next yacht, next house. And what do you do with all this? And you know, we're not wealthy people, but we had a decent income to enjoy some of what I what I was just mentioning. But you know, it's like we thought, what if it was a status symbol to invest into a piece of land, to give students or young people a job and show them how to harvest things, um, to grow your own whatever. In Germany would be potatoes. Here it's potatoes and mangoes and papayas and you know, like we have all
Bananas.
and bananas. We have a lot of bananas too. Yeah, you know, like what if this could be a status symbol for the beauty and the rich, that they instead of bragging around what they own by yachts and cars and stuff, if they could say, okay, I'm making a lot of money, but I'm reinvesting it in something for the better. And what is better than growing food better than on monoculture? So there's a little bit our history, why we're here on this island.
To also be an example of how you can do things a different way, and I mean, in relation to kind of the lives you were living and the friends you were having.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to show that it's possible, and actually we did not prove it yet because it's really hard to make a living on ecological grown food, especially if you're not in monoculture. We're not there, but we want to give the proof that it's possible to have a really high-tech job. So we live on podcasting, on online courses, as well as on one-on-one, on personal trainings here on the island. But you know, a lot of our job is also very techy. You know, it's like Zoom, online meetings, blah blah blah. But at the same time, share the time that you have also with the nature, with the earth, and grow something valuable out of it.
To be in meaning and to live a purposeful life and to cultivate the land is, I mean, that's what humans have been doing since forever. And it's something about our psychospiritual connection to the earth by working with the earth, and that's what I think many of us have lost as well. And it's beyond, when it's not about the economic thing either. It's just, it's so healing, and it's so like,
Yeah, that's the question, whether it was better in the old times. You know, like I don't know, in the medieval ages, a farmer who was working uh, in at these times in kind of a slavery, whether he thought he has a meaningful life because he's connected to Mother Earth. I think this is a very modern point of view. I mean, I clearly see the advantages of modern food industry. I mean, at the end, we have by percentage less people starving on the planet than ever before. Of course, in absolute numbers, it might be more, but you know, it's like you always have to see what happened in the medieval ages or before Christ or in ancient times. I mean, the the industry of food, the industry of everything, what we have, is the result of people who wanted to do things better. But now we're at a point, I think, where we have to rethink, is it still better what we're doing? All this consumption, all
Yeah.
this consume, and all this, I'm a marketing and sales guy, but is all this marketing and sales leading us to a better life, or is it not? Definitely in the last 50 years and the last 100 years, the planet and how we managed things in the Western world was better for the most people. But the question is now we have, everybody has food, everybody has a full fridge, everybody has a job. So now, is there a meaning, or is there behind it, or does it make sense to manage and do economies at the same scale, at the same level, and continue like in the past? Because we can scientifically calculate that this could end bad for us. So, I see very pragmatic. I see it, it's necessary to do. It's just my opinion. It's like, I think it's necessary to do that. We rethink how we do food, how we produce product, and that's it. And of course, if you are on that path, if you rethink things, you automatically come to the point that you give a meaning to it, and give a spirit to it, and it's like, it's a call which comes from the heart, and it's not just like unconscious consumption. It's more conscious auto production, I would say.
A way that is more in sync with nature and with oneself, because it's also interesting, because now we have basically, at least in the Western world, all the material things we could kind of ever ask for. If you don't have it, well, then you can borrow money and you can go buy it. But still, a lot of people are suffering from depression and from psychological illnesses. And I think in Sweden, it's like 2 out of 10 people are on SSRI, and it's probably similar statistics in the Western world. So it seems like just because we have more things, it's not going to provide us with lasting fulfillment or lasting like peace either. But if we see that there's no error, that like the modern agriculture system, that the financial system, all of this came for a reason as well, but it's not here to stay forever, that it's constant kind of evolving, and it needs to evolve. And right now it seems that we're in a time with a need of a lot of rethinking of the things that we're taking for granted. Yeah, put new seeds of.
That's an interesting point of view, because like, I'm asking myself sometimes. I mean, I know myself personally what a depression and a burnout and a stuck state is. But my question is it real that we are the most suffering society ever, or is it just the unbridled statistics? Was there any statistics before Christ? Was there any statistics? I know, like, if you read a little bit about the history of Jesus and Buddha, I mean, why did they come up with their philosophical ideas? Because people were suffering, and I don't know whether it was 2 out of 10, and there was no drugs, but the invention of alcohol has its roots too.
Yeah.
Alcohol makes happy in the short run, and in the long run it does the opposite to you. But I think it's it all sometimes I think it always has been the same, and my personal challenge on this planet is just I only can change one universe on in this incarnation, one universe, and this is my universe. This is my interior universe, and all of the time, especially now, like if we look at the politics in Europe now, like the split left and extreme right and all this is because people are unhappy, but this is what happened through the history of mankind. So I don't think it's something special, and it's not even special that it happens what it happens, because even in mankind, if you look what Buddha was saying, maybe even Muhammad, what the Islam is saying, what all the cultures are saying, if you listen closely to shamans, it's like everybody's telling you the same, that, and it's actually written in the Bible, God is in you. So the only universe I can change is get connected and find out solutions for myself, and not go out in the world and pray that we should kick out all Arabs of Europe, and we should do this and we should do that, and blah blah blah. You know, just look at yourself and into yourself. That's the key, and that's hard enough.
It is pretty damn hard. It's easier to look out on the outside and blame the outside, but the inner journey is because we if one believes that I'm a part of all of this, and the thoughts I think and the emotions I feel have an impact on everyone and everything around me, then at least to me it's becoming so clear that
Yeah.
my inner state is what is creating.
And it's okay to blame the outside. It's completely okay, because if the outside the rest of the world is stepping on my feet, I say ouch, and tell the person, if it's a person who steps on my foot, don't do that. So I'm not saying, oh yeah, I'm feeling my toe now. I feel that I'm suffering. Okay, I feel this makes me unhappy. What does this have to do with me? Or why do I have a toe that hurts? No, this is not my point of view. I say you can fight for your borders and your limits, but always in connection with yourself, and with telling others how you feel with what is happening. And if the more people we are who can share their and make a difference of their internal status, of their state, of the feelings they have at the moment, and of their needs, what they need at the moment. If you can, if we two can share this now, then we have the chance to understand each other. But if I just say, "Motherfucker, don't step on my toe," and I punch his face, it comes from the outside. I showed my limits, but maybe I did not understand why this guy is standing on my toe, and that's more than.
And then I might think, I didn't step on your toe. It was this guy who stepped on your toe, and then so it's a communication, and to see that we're all kind of humans here on this planet, somewhere in the universe.
Yeah, and that's maybe coming back to the 2 out of 10 who are taking antidepressive drugs. My opinion is that it maybe never has been different. We always, as human beings, 6,000 years ago, if you read, even if you read the Bhagavad Gita, you'll find unhappy people there. You'll find war. And it's actually writing about an inner war, which happens on the outside. Then I don't think it ever has been the same. And of course, maybe modern medicine and psychiatry brings it more, even more on a scale that 6,000 years of religion, 200 years of industrial exploitation of the planet, that nothing really makes us happy. That happiness comes from another source. Maybe this is the chance to have a closer look what makes me happy, and also have a closer look that at the end I'm a being on this planet as any other ant or fly or duck, and it has to do with suffering too. I think as Buddha said, this life is suffering.
I think you said
I think he said it. It was 6,000 years ago. Oh, no, not 6,000. 600 before Christ, I think, was Buddha. So it's like two and a half thousand years ago. But it's like,
It's an old legend.
and
It's
there's
just
some old Greek legends who did find out the same, and they didn't have any computers, they didn't have any iPads, they had no cars, and they had the same problems. And they were standing in the city parks and talking to others what they should change that the world gets better. I was just recently reading about the time when Jesus was praying. He was not the only one. There was like history says that there was it was just normal, like modern coaches, like I am. There's like millions of coaches out there, and then everybody's standing not at the
everybody wants
at the
to be a
corner
prophet.
on the city park, but everybody wants to have his network, his followers, and you want to tell them how life gets better. It's
Yeah.
like so.
That's what we all want to know.
Yeah,
He was a
maybe.
good salesman.
Yeah, and I just did hear a nice word yesterday that between religion and medicine and psychiatry, coaches fill in a gap.
Between the medicine and psychology, religion.
And the religion, yeah. Because, I mean the context was that religion could help to a certain extent in the life of humans. And like any other invention, any other philosophy, it was like, it was developed or it popped up in our minds. It's just existing in ourselves. It's not, it's not growing like a tree.
No.
It's existing. All religion, all philosophy, all suffering, all joy, all happiness is just in ourselves. So why did this pop up in other human beings? Because there was like unhappiness, or I'm not yeah, I'm not cool with what's happening. I want to change something, and if you have many people around who want to change the same thing, you come up with ideas, and then you come up with the rules. And in the old times, maybe these agglomeration and book of rules was finally then the commandments, and maybe then a religious book, and then people who came in to interpret it, to make others happier. And the others followed because they thought, oh, these guys make me happy.
You're gonna make me happy.
And there's no religion in the world who finally made people completely happy, I think. It's just there's no scientific proof about it. It's just how I see the world.
Well, it seems like also with any because once people are truly happy and satisfied, they don't need you anymore. Then it's like, I'm good. I'm happy. I don't have to follow you, or like you're the expert and you have all the answers to everything. It's like I'm good. So there might have been some force that wants to keep us unhappy.
Now, who's that force? Who is that force?
Yeah, no, it's coming
Is it
from inside.
is it coming from any religion, or where is it coming from? Like, I mean, I don't believe in all these conspiracy that there's a bigger force who's controlling everything. I mean, the world is too complex. The religions itself are too complex. Um, again, I don't think that a religion was invented to manipulate people. I think any religion has its source in a loveful, philosophical, empathic person, like maybe Buddha was, like maybe Jesus was, like many others who did find out that, it's like you don't find it on the outside, you find it in the inside. Then they shared their wisdom, and the ones who got the wisdom firsthand maybe got a clue, but the third generation already had interpretation. Somebody was writing books, the next generation was faking the books, because and then this is where where then power and abuse of religious networks and religion happens. And you could, it's not about religion. You see the same in companies. Somebody
That's interesting.
somebody comes up with a new sneaker. Wow, cool idea, with a new skateboard, a new snowboard, or a new T-shirt line. So wow, that's cool. Let's do it. Okay. Then there's a little network. They're successful. They sell it to the retailers and make their money and drive beautiful cars. And then it comes to the point where, like the network is getting bigger, the philosophy behind the brand is getting a little bit fuzzy, and pim pam, you have a fight in the company.
Right,
It's
right.
it's just another network
Yeah.
who started with a philosophy, who just started with a spirit, and then it's like so hard to keep the things together.
In its original essence, because it's, yeah, as it evolves, it's harder to. That's a very, very interesting parallel as well. I really, really enjoyed it,
Yeah,
and it's so my mission is also is to see and to share
yeah,
and to interview people that are walking in different traditions,
mm,
different religions as well, to kind of find out what
mm,
their perspective of this essence of their
yeah,
religion is. I've been spending time with Jewish people in
mm,
Israel and with Hindus in India and with Christians, and it's so beautiful because it's like each religion at its core, at its essence, it's really designed to bring you to God. And some people still have that connections. Many followers might have lost that to kind of the surface um, level things, but it's like it's not a one shoe fit for all. But it seems like these different religions and these
mm,
different traditions are designed for specific kinds of
mm,
people.
mm,
Because following Jesus is just not for everyone. But then there are Buddha, and there's so many other ways of connecting to source.
At the end, we're all looking for a framework to have orientation in our disoriented
This story.
in inner inner life.
Yeah. Well, uh, it's a rather fascinating experience, to say the least,
Uh,
to be human. And upon religion, and to dive deep in that, what's diving into the water? Could you see that as a kind of a religion? Or like,
oh no, not at all. It's at the end. It's a beautiful experience, and also there, I'm hearing and reading about freediving as the spiritual sport. What is spiritual about freediving? It's like just because you use techniques like meditation doesn't make the sport spiritual. Because meditation is another tool which is completely overrated. I'm saying that teaching meditation myself. I live on that, kind of like this is part of my job, but I don't see it as it can bring you closer to spirituality. It can bring you uh, inner peace, but that's not all. It's like at the end, it's a tool. If you uh, look, what could you do with mindfulness? You can free dive, but you also could really, really calm down your hands. And when you have your gun, then your rifle, you're so much. It's so much easier to shoot someone's forehead if you're completely calm inside. You don't shoot that good if you're nervous. So meditation is like a knife. It's or let's say mindfulness and all this. I mean, at the end, what is meditation? There's no definition for it. But why do I say this? Yeah, we were talking about freediving, and freediving. Yeah, of course you get connected to the super big ocean. I think there's something magic about water in general. Maybe this is the reason why so many people in their holidays look to be close to the water or be in the water,
Yeah.
because water, because we consist, I think, I'm not a physician, but I think 90% we consist of water. 80% beats me, but it's a lot. It's almost 100%. And I always say when we're in the water, we get kind of synchronized. So every time you are in the water and go out, you feel wider. You have more wideness in your view, in your feeling, in your inner feeling, and you you wash away the narrowness. This is something that happens, and this is why water, since I don't know how many million years, is therapeutic for in therapeutic use. It's the basic medicine is water. So back to freediving. Of course, it makes it's good to be in the water,
Just as
and
being in the water itself.
just as being in the water itself, but you don't need freediving for it. But freediving for me is the fastest reflection, the fastest mirror of your inner state, because a good dive only happens when you are completely tranquil, completely calm. Then you can dive good, because the water is a catalysator of your psyche. So if you dive down, and Sam, you are an experienced diver, you know, if your mind is kind of fuzzy, fucked up, you're angry, or you're not, you're not in yourself, you're not in your middle, you're not centered. If you dive, then the dive does not feel good. And it's not the dive that doesn't feel good. This is an abstraction. It's yourself. You don't feel good.
Yeah.
So the water and the pressure down there, and the breath hold, these parameters gives a blend of feeling bad if you go down in any bad state of anger, of rage, of being sorrowful, or being mad, or anything. And on the other side, if you are diving and happy beforehand, the water and the activity of diving will give you will it will pay off. It will bring your level a little bit up. But it's not that originally you go into the water, put your mask on, and go down. This does not make you better. And that's the fascination for me in freediving. You need, by technique, by meditation, and other techniques I use, you need to find this inner calmness, this inner peace, this inner whiteness before you do the activity. And then the activity is a catalysator and is a mirror and reflects, oh, this is how good I was before. If this doesn't happen, the dive is, if I dive down with shit in my head, the shit comes up in the water. And therefore it's very, very advisable, and to also, before you dive, kind of cleanse and rinse yourself from the inside, and then the outside follows.
Yeah, and in that way it becomes a practice that's more than just, oh, how many meters can I go down today? That's fun too, but where am I at today? And it really is a mirror. The further down you go, the more intense the mirroring, and it's interesting how the pressure gets more intense as well. And every thought you think becomes so clear in your mind, and how every thought consumes oxygen, it consumes energy. Like when I go down, I try to point my mind to a thought like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And, it can also come to a point where just all thoughts dissipate, and it's just
you're
presence.
just saying it. The explanation for this, what I explained before, is not kind of esoteric or some fuzzy mental ideas I have. No, it's what you said. It's about the oxygen, because if your brain activity is super high, and unconscious, then your brain uses much more oxygen. And the more oxygen it uses, the narrower, the more anxiety, the more um, pressure, like psychological pressure is on you, the worse you feel. And that's, it all has to do with the oxygen. And, that's for me the real proof, and also the fun part, that if you are really, really calm in yourself, and you control your thoughts, your brain, in a way that it gives you a couple of minutes of peace, and is not unconsciously just thinking and using oxygen, that this really pays off at the end. And this is the mirror. This is the reason of the mirror. It's not that I just, I'm just saying this. It has a physical reason, because unconscious thinking, uncontrolled thinking, produces a lot of oxygen. And this lack of oxygen, or let's say the surplus of the accumulation of CO2 in your blood, then gives you bad feelings, as we know.
Which then will promote more negative thoughts and becomes a
Of
cycle.
course, it's a down spiral then, spiraling down.
And what's cool is that there's so much scientific proof and data that shows how like this whole thing is incorporated. And I agree, being in the water for me, it's like it resets the energy of my body and of my, it's like it automatically harmonizes without me doing anything. I'm just in it and letting it kind of hold me.
And what you said before is also true. I mean, you can go freediving like any other sports. How fast can I run? How high can I jump? How deep can I dive? With just sheer willpower, pushing your limits. I mean, this is also possible. It's not even necessary to
Do you think
to control this.
the Austrian guy that went down to 250 meters, do you think he was pushing it or he was relaxing it?
I don't know. I never met him personally, so I don't want to diagnose this. I can't tell. I can't tell at all.
But yeah, this way of, because that applies to everything in life. You can force things, like you can force a yoga position, you can force a stretch, but it's not really gonna, it's gonna consume a lot of energy, and it's not really gonna be comfortable, and it's not really gonna, or you can relax into it. And I think that when I came here 6 years ago, I had a lot of issues with my knee. It was really bad, but like doing freediving really helped me. Maybe not that it maybe on some level it healed my knee, but more it helped me to relax in my nervous system, in my mind and in my body. And it seems like when we are able to relax in our system, it will heal itself as well.
Completely. And this is the big help of freediving, because especially beginners, a lot of people, they think they are relaxed, but thinking is thinking. That does not mean that you're really relaxed. And therefore the freediving is beautiful, because it's like, it's not your teacher, your guru, or someone telling you, oh, you're not relaxed, or relax a little bit more. It's like, it's like you prove it to yourself, because the water shows you. The water shows you how relaxed you are. And you also learn to be honest to yourself. There's a lot of times, these guys coming up from a dive, and haha, what easy, okay, I'm fine, and something tells you he was not fine. And this is something you learn. You can pretend to be fine, but you have to be, for yourself, and for the next dive, and for your progression. You have to find out, if I'm really honest to myself, I was not so relaxed all the time. So what was the reason? And you have the chance to just go over it and ignore it, or take it for serious, which is then part of your inner work. What was it exactly that I was confronted with there?
And it's interesting if we like if we would, like I did in my first time I came here and dived, when I went back to Tenerife after 1 month, did dive down to 30, and then the second one down to 30 right after. I had a blackout on my way up. So it's interesting how we can lie to ourselves as well, to the point where we like really can put ourselves in a place of danger. And I think that's the beauty of freediving, is really teaching you to listen. You have to listen to your body. You have to listen to where your limit is today, and not, if that's the limit, that's the limit. Don't push it further, because it can go really bad if you if you do.
Absolutely.
So for the next phase of your life, or maybe like, are you planning to stay here in El Hierro on the Canarias? Do you feel like this is the long-term place?
Yeah, I have no other plan, no other idea, and I'm not even think about it. So I accept this as my place to be at the moment, and I actually want to extend my school here, my inner school, my online coaching, my especially what I like the most is like personal coachings, like one-on-one coachings here on the island. So my plan is really to um, be part of this place and show other people what is possible on this place, and what is possible with freediving, what is possible with in your journey within. Like we were talking a lot about yeah, meditation as a tool, but in my work, I look. This is one of three parts. I have it's a very basic part, very very important. It's the platform, but there's much more learning about uh, distinguishing feelings from thoughts, judgments, ideas. What is a real feeling? What is a pseudo? I call it a pseudo feeling. What is a pseudo feeling? For instance, like I have the feeling, Sam, that you're laughing about me. So there's not a feeling. It's just a judgment, just a meaning. Things like that. Because when we're honest to ourselves, the inner unrest is nothing else but thoughts, and the thoughts are driven by the outside and by our feelings, and they play ping pong together. And when I start to, and of course, on the playground is where the ping pong, where the tennis game starts. The playground is our patterns we have, our beliefs we have, our traumas, which form the playground. So
when we were children, that kind of playground.
No, I'm talking about the playground now. The one player is the feeling. The one player,
Right.
one
Yeah.
player is the ideas, the thinking, and like one plays the ball and the other returns, and then we at the end we cannot distinguish anymore. What is a true feeling I have, or what is a true body sensation I have at the moment, and what is just judgments, anger, automatisms, which and then the game is automatic. And my metaphor just was the playground is the patterns we have, the automatisms we have, the traumas we have, blah 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 blah. And as long as we cannot distinguish this uh, all the time, instantly, be aware, be conscious about that, the chances are low that you really, really get in touch with your inner peace, with your inner tranquility. You can sit down and meditate. As I said before, it's a technique. You can chill down for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or for an hour. And you can force yourself every day, sit 2 hours on the pillow. But this will not really, I say, will not really heal your the ping pong of your emotions and ideas and thinking and judgments. So you have to do some different things there.
Well, it seems like that's maybe perhaps a part of this reason why we're here is to play this ping pong, which is meeting people, which is doing the things we do in life, because it's always gonna evoke things. It's gonna evoke these patterns. It's gonna evoke these traumas. It's gonna evoke the I'm not enough. I can't do this. I don't have enough money. It's like, but then and perhaps that's where meditation comes in, and like this, being able to spot it, like with your presence and with your focus in the moment. You see, like, that's that pattern, and by recognizing it in the moment, you're slowly it's dissipating. So that's beautiful, and I'm really glad that you're here on the island. I know where to find you, as so many of your other students. We know that Karsten is on Hierro. We can always go here for obviously the diving, but also for chats like this. And I really look forward to see you extend your school and these activities. And it's interesting that there's other instructors coming here as well, and that you're collaborating together.
Yeah.
And
actually, I was educating them, and I was forming and creating my own competition. There was for 10 years I had no competition here. Now the first competitors come in, but they come out of my own school, which kind of makes me happy that the family and the network is growing here, and that what I gave to others, that they are now in a situation where they can share it authentically, and this is it's very fulfilling feeling for myself.
no, it's like raising children. No, and it's like they go
kind of, yeah.
But maybe it's also, doesn't this allow for you with new instructors here, they can take maybe the more low level beginner and you can focus more on that.
I don't know. So because maybe as a final statement, I don't, the fun and my joy of being an instructor or being a life coach. This has not to do with beginner or top-notch athlete. It's like it's always a human being behind it, which has a question or a problem, and it wants to come from A to B. Like, let's stay in the freediving. You want to come from the surface zero and maybe do 5 or 10 or maybe 15 meters after a while. So I'm taking you from A, 0, to B, 15 meters. Makes a smile on your face and makes you happy because you're self-fulfilling things. You learn something new, and this is just a great feeling. It's no difference for you or for any human being just doing this transformation from 0 to 15 than from maybe 40 to 45.
Yeah.
For the human body, for the human psyche, for the human emotion, it's the same feeling. So for me as a coach, it's the same feeling of happiness, no matter whether I brought or I did find some tricks or some special advices, how I could make the life easier for person A or for person B, the deep diver or the beginner. And therefore, like what counts for me is just the smile in the face, the shining eyes, and the happiness after the transformation. And the same counts for me in life coaching. You can be a top businessman and never ever thought about in your life that there's a feeling, a difference between thinking and feeling and sensing and empathy and da 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 da. So on this field, these guys are complete beginners, and getting someone who is stuck in life from A to B, this is always, this is my reward at the end. It's always the transformation from A to B, no matter whether he's a beginner or a top athlete, whether he's the first time trying to to feel his own hand as a kind of a body scan, or if he's already 3 years in meditation and got stuck somewhere there, which happens.
Oh, simply the beauty and appreciation of seeing,
Yeah.
supporting other people in their
Yeah.
evolution, because that's ultimately why we are here.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for doing that work. Thank you for this conversation, Karsten.
Thank you, and thank you for letting me go, because I have to bring my bees now.
Let's go.
I have a beehive. I have to bring them from A to B. I have to transform them to a new energy level.
Right. Karsten is a bee farmer as well.
All right, Sam, thank you very much for the talk.